What's up everyone, welcome once again to the channel. It's your boy Luis and today we're gonna be talking about Miss International Queen 2025, and yes, we're also gonna be addressing the drama and all of the issues that happened right after the coronation. I've been getting a couple of requests from all of you chismosos and chismosas out there, so don't worry, I got you. But I'm also going to be talking about the Q&A portion of this pageant because, as you know, Q&A is my favorite segment in the world of pageantry. It is one of the things that I found the most interesting, and in this context I think that it will give us some clarity when it comes to the outcome of the entire competition and the drama that followed. As usual, I hope that you guys find this video interesting, that you enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel of course, and be part of the conversation in the comment section down below. Now that the invitation is open, let us get right into the reaction. Okay, let's get started. We have here our top 6 delegates. We have Miss USA, Miss Philippines, Vietnam, Ecuador, Cuba, and Laos. All of them gorgeous. Let's see how they did.
I hope you're ready. So let's start off with Miss USA.
Miss USA looking absolutely gorgeous. I adore what she's wearing.
Pick one question.
I mean, just look at this design. It's so creative, it's so out there, it's so extra, but like in the best way possible. So I'm all in for it. She's also so extra and I love it.
Miss USA has chose question number 4. Now listen carefully. Once again, you've got only 30 seconds to answer. The world is experiencing economic disparities, inflation, and rising costs of living in many places. How could you survive and inspire people to overcome this hardship?
Damn.
Would you like me to repeat that?
Please.
Please.
Okay,
even for me, because honestly.
Experience economic disparities, inflation, and rising costs of living in many places. How could you survive and inspire people to overcome this hardship?
Honestly, this is a very tough question, and I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of like international pageants out there, including like some of the big 4 pageants, are not asking this level of like complexity in terms of the questions. I mean, the world is experiencing economic disparities, inflation, and rising cost of living in many places. How could you survive and inspire people to overcome this hardship? So not only how will you deal with these 3 simultaneous world issues, but also how will you inspire everyone to overcome them? I mean, whoo, Jesus. There's many ways to answer this, but I'm interested to see how she did herself. Girl.
I want people to understand all across the world that life does get difficult. There are tough times. I myself have dealt with so many things, from suffering job losses, from being transgender, all the way to being homeless. I understand what it's like to not have that stability. But when you continue to work hard, strive for your goals, and never give up your hope, anything you want to do in this world is possible. Kapun ka.
Wow. Okay, you know what? I actually really like her answer because as I said earlier, it's a little bit of a complex question. It's a little bit, specific. But when you look at the question, you see that it kind of focuses on the financial part of it, which is economic disparities, inflation, which is of course, prices going up and the rising cost of living. Well, so it's all kind of related to money. And she approached it in a way that it was very general without necessarily making it about money, but implying, that she has faced many injustices and disparities because she is a transgender woman, and the fact that she has been in different situations, going from working really, really hard to being homeless, but at the end of the day, just the resilience of it all is what kept her going. And this also applies to any of these issues: economic disparities, inflation, rising cost of living. She basically said, y'all, we need to keep on pushing, okay? So don't give up. If I did it, you can do it too. Basically, that's what it boils down to.
Miss Philippines!
Let's go, Anne.
Kindly choose one question, and Miss Philippines, choose question number 3.
Question number 3. There is still many conflicts around the world. If you were crowned Miss International Queen, how would you use your platform to promote peace and international understanding?
Again, this is kind of a very general question because we're talking about conflicts around the world. We're talking about very, very serious things. And then the question is, how would you make it better, basically using your title? So it's not the easiest question, but it's the type of question that beauty queens need to be ready for. So they do train when it comes to these things during their Q&A preparations. And I'm pretty sure that Anne, being a Filipina, could handle this. Let's see how she did.
Conflict starts in misunderstanding. Regardless of our differences, as Miss International Queen, I will promote the language of love, which is the universal language. Yes, we are different when it comes to races, beliefs, and culture, but always remember, true love, there is respect, and we will resolve any conflicts in life. Thank you.
Okay, short, sweet, but straight to the point and very impactful. You know what? I thought that she was gonna go with something like, I'm gonna use my voice to be the voice for the voiceless and the change, that we wanna see in the world type of thing, which is kind of the route that a lot of the girls go with this type of questions. But I like that she stayed simple and went with something universal, which is love. Let's not focus on our differences, whether it is race, whether it is cultural, whether it is religious. Let's focus on the one thing that we all have in common, which is love. You know what? I'll give it to Anne. She did well. Vietnam.
Miss Vietnam, could you please choose one question?
Just gonna say, Vietnam is so gorgeous. I love what she's wearing. I wonder how she will handle Q&A, but let's see.
In your life, if you face a difficult time, what do you always tell yourself, or what do you always to do get through that difficult time? Once again, in your life, if you face a difficult time, what do you always tell yourself, and what do you always do to get through that difficult time?
Oh my God, the way that they're reading it is, I think it's making it more complex than what it should be. In your life, if you face a difficult time, what do you always tell yourself, or what do you always to do? What do you always to do get through that difficult time? Oh my God, whoever wrote this, grammar. ChatGPT is free. Just run the question prompt, fix spelling and grammar. Lord. I wonder how she will handle this, because the way that they even formulated the question is messed up. So, oh, Miss Vietnam, good luck with this one.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
let's
do
see.
believe that any gender, any ages always have their difficult times. But for myself, I always told myself that as a transgender, it's not to give up, because I always believe in following your dream to make your success come true. And now, as Miss International Queen Vietnam standing on this stage, I want to express my ideal of resilience and not giving up, because I do believe that all transgender around the world deserve to love and to be loved. Thank you.
Okay, honestly, that was a pretty complete answer. If the translator didn't really enhance the answer a little bit, her delivery and everything was pretty much on point. I like that she talked about resilience. I like that she kind of made the question about her being a transgender woman and never giving up because of that, like just following her dreams and never giving up. Because the question itself wasn't necessarily about gender or what do you do as a transgender woman to get through difficult times, or type of thing. It's just like in general, but she made it about that, and I think it's okay because this is the biggest stage for trans women in the world, so no complaints there. Honestly, I'm very happy with her answer. She exceeded my expectations when it comes to it, so far so good.
Thank you, Miss Vietnam.
And
Now we
next
have
up, Miss
Ecuador.
Ecuador. If you could change one thing in society today, what would it be, and how would you begin that change?
Honestly, out of all of the questions so far, I think this is the easiest one, in the sense that if you could change one thing in society today, what would it be and how would you begin that change? So basically, tell me one thing that you want to change and how would you do it? I think she can go with any issues that are close to her heart. Probably it will be clever, very smart to go with something that is related to her advocacy or something that is related to the mission of the pageant to make it more impactful and relevant during this particular segment. Of course, that's what the judges are looking for, quite literally.
Do you have a translator?
Ok.
En español, por
Se
favor.
tu potessi cambiare qualcosa in questo mondo, cosa sarebbe e come faresti?
Oh my God, they gave her an Italian translator. My girl is from Ecuador. We speak Spanish in Ecuador. Why did they give her a Italian translator? Miss International Queen, just invite me next year, okay? I'll translate for you guys.
I believe change that bad her to the person. I believe it's the moment to incite in the future to the people, the child, the respect, tolerance, and love. For have one word, equal and full love. Thank you so much.
Okay, I have mixed feelings because I think that this could have been better, but honestly, I kind of understand what happened here. The girl is basically not so comfortable in English. She needs a translator for sure, but they didn't give her a Spanish translator. They gave her an Italian translator. Therefore, she is kind of forced to answer the question in English, which is not her first language, and she's not super comfortable in it. But honestly, she still delivered something that made sense. If you were able to read between the lines and understand what she was saying, she was basically saying that she will choose to change people's heart and to instill in children's hearts since a young age love and acceptance for everyone. So that's basically her way of saying that she wants equality and to stop discrimination and to make sure that people see us for who we are rather than picking aside the differences, the things that set us apart, but rather just focus on the things that bring us together. So I think that that's what she was trying to say with the limited English that she had access to. Damn. You guys, oh my God. Some of these pageants, y'all, if you cannot bring a translator, just don't offer it to begin with. I mean, it's... Let's go to the next one, which is Miss Cuba.
Please choose one question. And that is question number 1. If you are discriminated against, what can you do to stand up for yourself with pride? Once again, if you are discriminated against, what can you do to stand up for yourself with pride?
Honestly, if, as Miss Cuba said, and we're going to talk about this later after the reaction, we're going to talk about the issue and the drama and everything that is going on, but if it's true that Miss Cuba gave notice to the organization about what was happening, and this is the question that she is being given for the final Q&A, the organization is messy for this. My God, they're like igniting the fire on stage during the show.
In hard moments, you must always rise above with elegance and class. You must teach others that it is not the way of violence that we fix things. It is with education. That starts at home. So if I'm discriminated against, I will stand up for myself with class. I will take myself out of the situation and try to escalate it with the authorities as measured. Thank you.
Hold on now. Wait a minute. I like what she did here. I like her delivery. I like the message. I like the impact that she had. You know, one thing about Miss Cuba is that since the beginning of the competition, she always carried herself with so much power, with so much presence. So that's something that is really reflected here on her delivery for the Q&A. It's almost like she is giving a speech rather than just answering a question. And I like that basically she talked about like standing up for herself and doing the right thing and escalating to the right authorities, which is honestly the way to go. You shouldn't try to go around these things and have your own justice, if you know what I'm saying. And again, it's kind of messy if the organization set her up with this question and then have her said like, you know, you escalated through the right people, and then allegedly, according to her, she did, and then nothing happened, you know. Going back to the question and the answer, I think this might be my favorite answer of the night thus far. Okay, we have one last, and that is Miss Laos.
Question number 5. In a world where gender inequality still persists, what is the most significant challenge facing women and girls today? And how would you use your platform to champion their rights?
So this is an interesting question because the first part of it is about gender inequalities. And then the second part includes two different groups, which is women and girls. Women and girls might have a radically different experience, you know, it's like literally two different age groups. Let's remember as well, this is the stage of Miss International Queen, so there might be an edge about being a trans woman. So I wonder if she will answer this just talking about women and girls in general, or if she will make this specifically about trans issues. So let's see how she approaches it. It's a interesting question.
We have a translator.
Taning always said that she wants some spotlight to shine on her and to be here to be the one who promote the gender equality for Laos and for every woman and girls around the world.
ที่สำคัญถ้าเอาลงมือเฮ็ดมันก็จะบ่สำเร็จขอขอบใจ
And one more thing, if we don't start to do it, it will not be success. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you, La.
Okay, so here we can see that first, to be honest, I questioned to what extent the translator was comfortable with the question, because it seemed like there was a little bit of shakiness there. And then also, the contestant herself got a little bit nervous, a little bit overwhelmed while answering the question. I don't know if it's because just of the nerves or because of the accuracy of the translation. I don't know. I feel like when the translator was delivering the answer in the end, even the translator was hesitating, in what they were saying. Usually, translator for the pageants, they should have, like pen and paper and write down the elements of the answer as the contestant is delivering it so that they can read it, like give something that is accurate for the judges. Otherwise, that's the only way that the judges have to judge the contestants. So I think that honestly, this was my least favorite answer of the entire batch. I don't know to what extent I can blame the translator or the girl, or if it's a combination of both, but it could have been better. Even though she did manage to squeeze in the two things that I mentioned. She talked about equality for women, for girls, and then also put the spotlight on transgender women, so I think that's perfect. She made sure that the answer was complete. So this takes me to the issue between Miss Cuba, Miss USA, and Miss Vietnam. As we all know, they ended up being the top 3 in the competition. So we have USA as the winner, Cuba first runner-up, and Vietnam second runner-up. For those of you who are not aware of the issue, basically what happened was that after the crowning moment, we already have a new queen, we are doing the press interviews and everything. Miss Cuba said that she was surprised that she made the top 3 alongside Miss USA and Miss Vietnam, as these two were bullying her all throughout the competition since day 1. They went as far as making fun of her, throwing stones at her. So it got really intense and really violent, and that she did raise up these concerns to the organization. This is the reason why I was telling you that earlier when she was given the question about what would you do if you were discriminated against and how would you stand up for yourself. It's kind of messy if the organization knew that this situation was ongoing and then gave her this type of question while at the same time putting her in the top 3 with the 2 girls that were supposedly, allegedly poking fun at her. After the crowning moment, when all of the girls ran to the first runner-up, to Miss Cuba, and they congratulated her rather than going to the winner, I think that, yes, in a way that's kind of revealing, and I see that she had a point in that sense. But at the same time, right after that, some of the girls went to greet Miss USA, so maybe it was just a matter of like who's nearer or what's going on, or maybe Miss Cuba had more of a bond with the girls. Whatever it was, to be honest, I do believe that if there was some bullying involved, she should have called it out. However, here's the silver lining, I don't think that this was the right moment to do it on stage, in front of the press, in front of the media. There's a time and place for these things, and we were not really there to see what actually happens. So it's like in a very important moment, very decisive moment, you're dumping like a major piece of information on us, and it's like, what are we supposed to do with this information now? Like, the girl is crowned and we don't have any evidence as we speak right now to actually take any action on it. Thank you for that information, but also what am I supposed to do? This, to be quite honest, should have been resolved behind closed doors. It doesn't make the winner or the second runner-up look good. It doesn't make Miss Cuba look good also, because to be honest, a lot of people will see her as a sore loser no matter what. It is not a good look for the international pageant, as in the past couple of years, there has always been an issue in the end, whether it's people fighting backstage, whether it is bullying, whether it's people unhappy with the ranking. It has been normalized to a certain extent, and these things shouldn't happen. Because already this being the biggest trans pageant in the world, it is facing already challenges in terms of discrimination and people looking down on this type of pageants and whatnot. So I think that this type of issues just kind of consolidate or increase the stereotypes that already exist around this industry, you know? So I wish that this was taken care of behind closed doors. Later on, after the pageant, Miss Cuba did issue an apology where she kind of like took back some of her statement, because she did say that she was surprised the organization will stand for something like that, and then she kind of like brought the organization into it. So then she said that she was sorry if her delivery basically implied that the organization was behind this behavior and that they were approving of it because it diminishes the entire mission and vision of the Miss International Queen organization. As I said earlier, this should have been done behind closed doors. She also spoke privately to Miss USA and Miss Vietnam, and they were able to, you know, find an agreement and close the situation. So if that wasn't off the table, if that was still an option, that should have been done prior to finals. Anyways, not to blame the victim here if she was actually bullied or anything like that. I support the fact that she will tell her truth and that she will call it out. I just believe, as a fan and as someone that have seen this type of pageants behind the scenes, that this could have been done at a different time. I do think, you know, for people saying that Miss Cuba deserved to win, I told you that she had my favorite answer of the night. It's true, she had my favorite answer. However, when I look at the overall performance from beginning to end, prelims, finals, different activities, I do think that Miss USA was the uncontested winner of the pageant. There's no taking away from the performance. She was always, you know, she was always entertaining to watch. She was always on. She was, when she had to speak, she was eloquent. She was smart. When she had to perform, she gave us a show. Even in the moments that nothing was expected of her, like just pick a question and she will go and give us something to stand out. So I do think that in that sense, Miss USA is the rightful winner of the batch. And honestly, I wish her nothing but the best during her reign. You let me know down below, what do you guys think about the coronation night of Miss International Queen? My comments and feedback about the Q&A portion, as well as the drama of it all after the coronation. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and join me in the conversation in the comment section down below. I will see you on the next one. Until then, stay safe and be kind to one another. Bye.